Thank you, Jason Kelce, on a wonderful, wonderful career. Does anybody know, is Nick Kotite still the coach? Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here. I hope everybody's hanging in there. I hope you guys are doing the best you can because the collapse has finally concluded. It is done. The collapse is over. And are any of us surprised that the Eagles lost yesterday? Or are we any of us surprised they lost the way they did? I mean, we've seen this thing coming for the last month and a half. And unfortunately now, here comes the fallout. Maybe, unfortunately for some things, fortunate, hopefully for some other things. But the big news breaking right now this morning as I'm getting ready to go to work, I figured I needed to get this video out now because it's important. It's about Jason Kelce. As many of you guys are probably hearing right now, it looks like Jason Kelce is going to retire. Here's what Adam Schefter wrote. Six-time All-Pro and future Hall of Fame center Jason Kelce told his Eagles teammates in Monday night's post-game locker room that he is in fact retiring per league sources. The 36-year-old became visibly emotional at the end of the Eagles' 32-9 loss. That's right, 32 to mother humping 9 to the Buccaneers. He has considered retiring other recent seasons, but this time is said to be really happening. And happening it is. Jason Kelce looks like he's retiring. Didn't want to speak to the media. And all I can say is this. Congratulations to Jason Kelce on a tremendous, amazing career. It's just like yesterday that the Eagles drafted him and he was a young center. I remember early in his career, everybody wondered, was he big enough to play the position? But he turned out to be not just a great center, but a Hall of Fame center, one of the greatest centers to ever play the game. And he is going to sorely be missed. He is. And I often wonder, is he going to go into announcing on TV? Is he going to go into the Eagles organization? I don't know, but Jason Kelce is retiring, and I wish him absolutely nothing but the best. It is unfortunate, and it's going to suck that this is the season that was his last season. And I'm always going to remember this season as the year of the collapse and Jason Kelce going out with this season. It's just, I hate this year. Of all the seasons I've been watching Eagles football, man, this is the one I want to forget the most. I'm dead serious. This is the season I want to forget the most. 10-1, 2 games up on first place a month and a month and a half ago. To first round exit, you don't even show up for the playoff game. You give the division away to the Dallas Cowboys, who can't handle the division anyways because they can't win in the playoffs, whether it's home or on the road. And it's just a horrible thing. Now we got to add that Jason Kelce is going to retire with this season. It's just like, geez, horrible. But it is what it is. Jason Kelce is one of the Eagles' greats, one of the all-timers. I think his number should be retired. I think, obviously, he's going to get into the Hall of Fame. I think they said he's eligible 2029 for the Hall of Fame. So I think Kelce will get in. I don't know if it'll be first ballot, but he would definitely get into the Hall of Fame at some point, and deservedly so. But we wish nothing but the best for Jason Kelce and his family going forward. Everything that he is going to do in the future, I'm sure, is going to be very successful for him. And it's a big loss for the Eagles. It's a big loss. This is why we drafted Cam Jurgens. He's going to have to move from right guard back to center. And we're going to see. We're going to see what happens. It's really a shame we couldn't have kept Seumalo, because Seumalo goes to Pittsburgh and is absolutely lights out. If we could have kept him 1 year, had Jurgens on the bench, we wouldn't have such a hole. Now, we're gonna need a right guard. I don't know if they're gonna use Steen or they're gonna go out and get another right guard, but it's something we're going to need. But that's for a later discussion, really. I just wish Jason Kelce nothing but the best. Seriously, the guy is a consummate pro, and of course, when we did win the Super Bowl, gave the greatest speech in the history of Super Bowl speeches, and we'll always have that. So I wish Kelce nothing but the best. I hope he enjoys retirement. For us Eagle fans, it just feels like Kelce going out this way on this season just sucks. Just sucks. And hey, listen, there's a part of me that hoping like he'll pull Brett Favre. He'll get away. He'll think about it, which has happened in the past where he thought he was going to retire, thought about it for a while, decided he wanted to come back. I hope he has a change of heart, but as of right now, doesn't look like it. So we wish Kelce nothing but the best. And as far as this team goes, I think this is just the first shoe to drop, right? Kelce retiring, the first shoe to drop. I could be back with 3-4 more videos today for all we know. I don't know how much is going to come how quick, but I expect the first thing we're going to hear, Kelce retiring was the first thing we kind of knew. We saw him visibly. Kelce was visibly upset at the end of that game yesterday. You could tell that, it didn't look good in terms of him not retiring. But the next shoe to drop, I expect to be the coordinators go. I think they're going to, especially the defensive coordinator position, I think they're going to clean house on the whole defensive side of the ball. I expect all the coaches to go there, then possibly the offensive coordinator, and then I expect we'll hear later in the week Nick Sirianni is going to meet with Jeffrey Lurie and Howie and all those things, and then we'll see if he goes. Now, a lot of people think that Nick Sirianni's not going to go, that he is going to end up being the coach again next year, but he's going to be on a real short leash. I think he's got to go. I don't think you can have an historic, epic collapse to the way that the Eagles do and think he could possibly get the locker room back, especially when we're hearing stuff about maybe Jalen Hurts wasn't too happy with the play calling. Maybe he didn't really listen to Jalen Hurts' request to change up the offense somewhat, So we got a lot to sort out. We got to sort out first and foremost, got to do something about the coaches. Then after the coaches, you got to figure out what's going on with the players. Some of these players look so bad. Jalen Hurts, people have talked about his regression. Yeah, there was a regression there. He did not play good last night versus the Buccaneers. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But the question is the regression and the players not being able to tackle, not play, is that because the players just are that bad? What are you doing, Cat? Or is it that the coaches have been so bad that these players have actually gone backwards, that the lack of development and helping these guys has really hurt? I don't know. I basically don't know what comes first. The bad coaching causing the regression causing the bad coaching. It's so much to sort out. What I do know is this, that the Eagles need to clean house coaching-wise. You had a historical, epic collapse. And before you can worry about where you're at with Jalen Hurts, where you're at with certain players, you got to clean house. You got to clean house and get a coach in here. That's the first thing. Then you can deal with Jalen Hurts and him, his development, and players on defense and guys like Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter and their development. We got to clean house. We got to get new coaching here. I don't know what they're going to do. It sounds like it's 50-50 with Nick Sirianni. I just can't imagine on what reason on earth you would want to bring him back. Just because he won a bunch of games the year before. That's fine, but when you have a collapse to the point where players don't play for you, and I say that if you want proof that the players don't play for them, look how these guys tackle. Okay, tackling is often an attitude, okay? These guys don't tackle. They tackle high. They're professionals. They know how to tackle. They're checked out. This whole team is just flawed. It's flawed. So the first thing first, Kelce retires. That's really the first shoe to drop. The next is going to be, I think, the coaching staff. I think defensive coordinator is going to go first, and then I think the offensive coordinator, and then I think eventually the head coach. We'll see. If I'm the Eagles, I'm not wasting any time. Seriously, I'd have fired Nick Sirianni already. To be totally honest with you, it would have already been done. I thought that the effort in yesterday's game, that team looked unprepared. They looked unmotivated. They had no juice. And it's been like that every week, really, since that Seattle game. every week. We were lucky to squeak out that Giants game on Christmas Day, but that Arizona game was unacceptable. And that was the first time I really knew that the Eagles were done. That Arizona game was it. That was the one where it's like we just blew this whole division. We blew everything. That's when I really knew. I see Mark Holmes going out there making like, oh, Philly 500 loses at Meltdown last night. Meltdown? We knew that. I dressed in black. I said I was going to dress in black all week for a funeral. For our funeral. Everybody knew the Eagles most likely were going to lose that game. We tried to get up. We tried to believe. We tried to have faith. We all knew. We all knew the team was dead man walking. Like I said, 2-3 weeks ago, that the Eagles were basically on death row, and we were just waiting. We were just waiting for our execution. Well, it came last night, and it came in Tampa. So yes, Jason Kelce retires, first shoe to drop. Now I expect the coaches, hopefully, to be next. It's going to be a very, very interesting week, no doubt about it. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat, and I gotta go to work. I'm late. I didn't forget this, though. I didn't forget this. The lone bright spot last night, Devontae Mother Humpin' Smith. Devontae Smith is an absolute stud. He's a number one wide receiver, and he could do that every week if they throw him the ball. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith are big strengths going forward. And I say, whatever Devontae Smith needs to be signed to stay long-term as an Eagle, do it. Denzel Washington out.